The power of prayer. Heaven moves when you speak. Have you ever felt like your prayers are hitting the ceiling? Like you're speaking, but nothing's changing? What if I told you that every time you pray, heaven is listening, even when you don't feel it? This isn't just a spiritual routine. Prayer is power. It's not a last resort. It's your first line of defense. So if you're feeling weak, lost, tired, or stuck, this message is for you. The power of prayer is real, and it changes everything. Please, like, share, and subscribe for more Faith Mode podcast. Prayer is one of the greatest gifts God has given us, yet it's often one of the most misunderstood. It's not just a religious act. It's not a performance. It's not about having the right words. It's a direct line between you and the creator of the universe. Think about that. The same God who formed the stars invites you to speak to him and promises to listen. James 5 verse 16 says, "The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." That means your prayers matter. Your quiet whispers, your desperate cries, your silent thoughts in the middle of the night. They reach heaven. And more than that, they move the heart of God. But let's be honest. Sometimes it feels like nothing's happening. You pray, and the problem still exists. You pray, and the pain still lingers. You pray, and the waiting seems endless. Does that mean your prayer isn't working? Absolutely not. The Bible reminds us over and over that God hears, God sees, and God acts in his perfect time and his perfect way. Prayer is not always about immediate answers. It's about deep trust. Philippians 4 verses 6 to 7 tells us not to be anxious about anything, but to present our requests to God through prayer, and then his peace will guard our hearts. Did you catch that? The first result of prayer is not always a miracle. It's peace. That's the power of prayer. It changes things, yes, but also changes you. It calms your storm. It strengthens your faith. It brings heaven's peace into your earthly battles. One of the greatest examples of prayer's power is Jesus himself. He didn't just preach about prayer, he lived it. Before miracles, he prayed. Before choosing his disciples, he prayed. Before going to the cross, he prayed with such intensity that his sweat became like drops of blood. If the Son of God relied on prayer, how much more should we? Prayer is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of dependence. And that's where real strength is found. When you stop trying to fix everything on your own and instead fall to your knees, you are actually rising in the Spirit. Because prayer is where your battle is won before it even begins. In the Old Testament, Hannah cried out to God for a child. Her prayers were so intense that Eli the priest thought she was drunk. But God heard her, and not only did he give her Samuel, a prophet, but her story became a testimony for generations. Her breakthrough didn't come through complaining or striving. It came through prayer. Paul and Silas were locked in prison, beaten and chained. But at midnight, they prayed and sang praises. And what happened? An earthquake shook the foundation. The chains broke. The doors opened. That's not a coincidence. That's the power of prayer and praise colliding. Maybe right now you feel like you're in your own midnight. The walls feel tight. The pressure is heavy. The chains are real. Friend, it's time to pray. Not because it's the Christian thing to do, but because it works. Not always how we expect, but always how God intends. Prayer is also how we fight battles that are not seen. Ephesians 6 verse 12 reminds us that we're not fighting flesh and blood, but spiritual forces. That means physical solutions won't fix spiritual problems. But prayer? It goes straight into the unseen. It disrupts darkness. It invites heaven's power into earthly situations. Sometimes we underestimate our own prayers. We think we're too broken, too inconsistent, too doubtful. But here's the truth. It's not about how powerful you are. It's about how powerful God is. And he responds to a humble heart more than a perfect one. Romans 8 verse 26 says that even when we don't know what to pray, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. That means even your tears are prayers. Even your groans are heard. God doesn't need you to sound polished. He just wants you to be real. Prayer is not a performance. It's a conversation, a relationship, a surrender. And when you build a life of prayer, You're building a life anchored in God's strength, wisdom, and love. Here's the truth many believers miss. You don't pray to inform God. You pray to invite Him. He already knows what you're going through. But prayer is your act of faith saying, God, I can't, but I know you can. And sometimes, prayer isn't just about changing your situation. It's about changing your heart. You begin by asking God to fix someone else, and He starts by healing you. You pray for an open door, and He prepares your character first. That's not a delay. That's divine preparation. Don't let unanswered prayers make you silent. Don't let delays make you doubt. Keep praying. Keep trusting, because even when you don't see it, God is moving. Daniel prayed and waited 21 days before the answer came. But from the very first moment, heaven had already responded. So today, whether you feel strong or weak, clear or confused, joyful or broken, pray. Talk to God like you would a friend. Cry if you need to. Yell if you must. Sit in silence and let your soul speak. But whatever you do, don't stop praying. Because the moment you stop praying, you stop fighting. Prayer is not your backup plan. It is your power source. And when you stay connected to God, no weapon formed against you can prosper. Doors will open. Chains will break. Peace will return. Healing will flow. And your faith will grow deeper than ever before. Now it's your turn. How has prayer made an impact in your life? Share your story in the comments and let others be encouraged. Let's build a community of believers who never stop praying and never stop believing.